welcome to my channel. I'm here to talk about a dream journal that I've been using for like 3 years now by Knock Knock. Although this is, I should say, not a sponsored video by them. I'm just here reviewing. This is a current journal that I'm using right now. I use that to protect my pages. Currently I have those pages, amount of pages that left to write. Honestly, to tell you the truth, initially I had purchased this book planned as a friend's birthday gift. I had to succumb to the temptation because I wanted to use it for myself. So now, 3 years in, I've finished 6. Purchased 6, and as you can see, I use alternate colors every time I finish a book. The first one is the light blue colored one, is the first edition published in 2013. The darker one was published in 2017, and really there's not much difference in its contents. The pages, the prints, the spreads are all the same. The only difference are the color of the cover, the print quality, and perhaps the paper quality. I know that why, because, well, I used the watercolor on it. I can see a lot of difference there. So initially when I first started using this, I tried to cram whatever dreams I could into one page like this, because the space provided is just very limited. And being me, I need more space to write. So I figured out a way of how I could do that. Extend the space. The book does give you some helpful tips on how to recall and remember your dreams. So my personal tips is something that I agree on is to keep the book near your bed, just near your head, near anywhere that is reachable for you when you are sleepy as hell, because to tell you the truth, you won't remember once you wake up if you think you can remember, because no, your brain does not work like that. So my personal tip for you, if you want to have good writing in your dream journal, don't use your dream journal right beside your bed, because your handwriting will suck. So as you can see here, I actually keep a jotter book here, a cheap jotter book, an A4 size large one. So you can see my sleepy handwriting here, and I use a couple of symbols that only I understand and some drawings. I also keep a small field notes where I use this when I'm really terribly sleepy, and I know I won't wake up after that. So this is where you just quickly jot down whatever you can think of before you go back to sleep. There are many other tips in the book, and one of the tips that I also agree on is not to use an alarm clock to wake up, because that ringing of the alarm clock will just ruin your whole dream. Trust me. The journal has a section for you to draw your dreams, and below it they will have 4 options, like frame-worthy, an accurate rendering, close enough, or just crap. So this is, honestly, frame-worthy is definitely very rare that I will opt on, because I can never draw whatever I can dream of. I'm not some Picasso, so this is some of the rare drawings that I dared to check that frame-worthy box. And most of my drawings are, I will choose close enough. Here's me as a Among Us game character. Then there's of course times where you just drew crap. This is a train outside my door. So let me just show you my process of how I fill in a dream entry. I'm just rewriting, copying whatever I scribbled onto that note jotter book. And this is also where you can, correct your grammar, your spellings, because when you are sleepy, all that just not with you. So here you can see I finished the whole page, the whole space. So I'm using a spiral notebook with very, very thin pages. And just continue writing on this. So once you finish the notebook page here, I did another. I just drew a small arrow symbol to indicate to turn the page. Side note here though, I just love the feel of hard handwriting. It's just bliss. So here I'm preparing a margin at the back of this paper, because this is where the margin will be the place where I will glue it on to the journal. So I'll just keep writing, avoiding that margin. You may think I'm very long-winded, but well, that's just me. I can make a simple sentence like a woman walked into a shop and go. A burly pink-clad woman with long curly hair strolled into a tiny shop by the corner. Yeah, I'm that descriptive and extra in my writings. So here I'm giving the dream a title, and usually I will do that once I finish writing the whole entire dream. Because while writing and copying back your entire dream, at the same time you will recall back whatever you dreamt, and at the same time you will be able to summarize the whole dream. And this is my favorite part, just checking and ticking off whatever feelings I remember I experienced during the dream. And below that you can see whether you have dreamed this dream before. And this is something which I think is quite important, because honestly you have no idea how many times I've had deja vus in my life ever since I started using these journals. No kidding. Many things that I remember things happen in my dream actually happen in real life. For the reflection section, I used to stress out on what I'm supposed to write on this. But time by time, I really gave it no shit and just write whatever I feel, whatever comment, whatever remark, whatever thing I think is going to happen, anything, just use it as you will. So it's time now to transfer your sleepy drawing onto this sketch section. Just try to recreate if better. Honestly, at times my pen sleepy drawings looked far better than what I can draw on here. And really, you don't need to draw like a Picasso because this is just a drawing. For me, you know, I'm an artist. I can draw. I can actually draw. Tell you the truth. But on this dream journal, I give no shit. I just draw like some amateur because the important thing is you get to draw whatever the dream depicts. You know, depict what the dream had. So here I'm just outlining my pencil drawings. And my personal tips at inking is start from the front. Believe me. Start from whatever thing that is up front and work from there to the back. So you won't miss out anything. So here I'm preparing and yeah, welcome to my pristine, clean, overly used watercolor set. I'm using watercolor because it's far easier and far quicker to fill in colors. And I'm here not trying to make some artistic move with shading or anything. I'm just basic filling in colors. I've had this watercolor set since 2017 now, and it just does not want to finish. I use another watercolor set with much better quality paints for my watercolor journals, but this one is strictly for my dream journals and my daily journals. Okay, so once you're done coloring, just let it dry for a while. Get back to your ringed notebook. Just erase off that pencil margin marking you made. Carefully tear out, and that's why I choose a ringed notebook, so it's easy to tear. Here I'm using a paper trimmer to cut off those ugly torn holes. So on to your prepared journal entry. Just is where you're going to glue in this paper, and I'm here using my favorite old school glue, water glue. Just make sure you don't glue in too closely to the spine because you don't want to spoil your journal spine. Just wiping off the excess glue and let it dry. So once dry, you're good to go. You can flip through. And here I am choosing the option which I feel is most accurate for my drawing as compared to my real dream. So yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Happy journaling and bye.